Welcome back to another episode of the Tackle Tip Tuesday series on OPH Outdoors. So this week on Tackle Tip Tuesday, we're going to talk about probably something that's become one of my favorite techniques to throw, just because you can use it any time of year really, and it works pretty well. I mean, it may not work the best in the spring, but for the summer, you can still catch fish on it in the spring, but in the summer and the fall, I really utilize this technique a lot, and that is the Squarebill. Now, this is a really good technique to throw. You can catch a lot of fish on it, you can catch good fish on it, and you can pretty much throw it anywhere in less than, I would say, 9 foot of water. So yeah, let's get into it, and first let's talk about my setup I use. So my setup I use for throwing Squarebills is this. This rod is a Megabass Swing Fire. It is actually a glass rod, which I found out not that long ago. I didn't realize it was a glass rod. It is rated for, or it's a 7'2" first of all, and it's rated for 1/4 to 5/8 ounce lures, 10 to 25 pound line. To me, this is probably a medium, maybe moderate fast action, maybe a medium fast moderate, or a medium heavy moderate fast action tip. And I've got that paired with a Daiwa Tatula CT with 12-pound fluorocarbon on it. This rod is really good for crankbaits. It has that really nimble tip, so you can get that good load up in it, and you can cast those little baits up in pretty good distance. So yeah, you can cast them pretty good distance with this setup. And you can actually, with this rod, it's a very good rod. I love this rod so far. It's my only Megabass rod I've had, and I've had it for about a year and a half, 2 years now, because Skyler at Dinkmaster 81, he got me into it. But yeah, it's a really good rod, very sensitive, very nimble. You can throw crankbaits well, so I would really recommend this rod. Now, if you're wanting something in a different brand, like I said, this is probably a medium heavy, moderate fast action tip. Maybe a medium fast action tip rod. I'm not too positive on the specs on it, but I would probably say medium heavy fast action or moderate fast action tip. So any rod in that. If you're going with something like Dobbins, I've got another rod pretty similar from Dobbins. It's 705 CB. It's specifically for jerk baits, crankbaits, and I believe like gunfish. So yeah, that's a really good rod for this application too. I would use that for throwing Squarebills also. So yeah, now that you guys kind of know about my setup that I throw my Squarebills on, let's get on to my different types of Squarebills I throw. Alright guys, so when we're talking about different Squarebills I throw, I'm going to show you guys a few of my favorite kinds of Squarebills. So first we are looking at Strike King KVD 1.5 Squarebills. This is a 1.5 shallow, as you can see with the little bill it has on it. So this dives like, I believe, 3 to 5 foot. One of my favorite ones to throw though is actually on here right now. This is a KVD 1.5 in the 5 to 8 foot diver, I believe, 5 to 7 foot. This is one of my favorite crankbaits to throw. I can throw it anywhere, the color on it's great, and pretty much anywhere in the 5 foot, all the way up to a 9 foot water, you can throw this bait. One of my other types of Squarebills I like throwing a lot is right here. I've got the Rapala Brat, and it's a balsa wood lure. These things have really, really good paint jobs on them. I love the paint jobs. They look really good, they swim really good, and I haven't caught too many fish off of them so far, and I haven't used them too much. So I can't say whether or not they catch a lot of fish or not, but I mean, you can watch plenty of videos, and these things are the real deal. They do work really well. Another Squarebill that I throw is, of course, the Lucky Craft. Lucky Craft probably makes one of the best Squarebills on the market right now, and they're a little bit pricey, but they're really good Squarebills. They have good paint jobs, and they just have really good action to them also. And the last one that I'll be throwing a lot of the time is actually a newer one to me. Actually, this isn't even a Squarebill that I have in here, but is a 6th Sense Squarebill. I, for some reason, threw a mid-diving Squarebill into my, or mid-diving crankbait into my Squarebill box. But yeah, that's the last type that I usually throw. Is I usually throw the 6th Sense, the Cloud 9 Squarebills. I'll throw the KVD 1.5s, I'll throw those Lucky Craft Squarebills, and then I'll also throw those Rapala Brats. So yeah, those are the biggest, or those are the most used Squarebills that I use. So now let's get into a little bit of where I throw them and why. So the biggest reason about why I throw Squarebills is, like I said, you can throw them pretty much anywhere. Anywhere as long as it's under 9 foot of water. If I'm under 9 foot of water, most of the time I'm not throwing a shallow diving crankbait, I'm throwing a Squarebill. I just like how they deflect off of every piece of brush that you hit, which is really nice, and I'll get into that here in a second. And I like the movement of Squarebills better than shallow diving cranks. So yeah, if I'm anywhere in 9 foot or under, I'm probably throwing a Squarebill. Now where I would throw Squarebills specifically is anywhere that has rock or brush. You can throw it just up shallow and nothing and be fine. That's what I do sometimes, but most of the time, if I have a rocky edge, I'm cranking a Squarebill straight down off that edge, trying to pull the fish out of the rocks. If I find some brush, I'll throw a little bit smaller, so like the 1.0 or the 1.5 KVD Squarebill. If I'm in open water, I'll throw something a little bit bigger, or if I'm in rocks, I'll throw something a little bit bigger like that, the KVD 2.0 or the 2.5 Squarebills. So I just, whenever I'm in like bigger brush or heavier cover, I'll throw that smaller crankbait or smaller Squarebill, so then it deflects off the wood or the brush better than what others do. Now, I mean, color, there's no specific color I throw. It really depends on the lakes. A lot of the lakes I go have these, have shad in them, so I use that gizzard shad right there. It matches the bait fish a lot, so it just works well in the areas that I fish. I mean, early spring, the other one that works really good is, like I just showed you, this Rapala Brat. This color right here works amazing. That red crawl color. So that is definitely a color that I would recommend throwing too. But those, if I had to pick 2 colors out of my crankbait box, I would definitely throw that gizzard shad and some type of red crawl color. If I had to pick one more, I would go with like a, I would probably go with a sexy shad color. Just, usually those colors work really well. Crawl colors, gizzard shads, and those are just the 2 probably best working colors that I throw. So yeah, guys, there you have it. That's the setup I use for Squarebills. The Squarebills I personally use, the line I use, where, when, and why I throw Squarebills, and what they're really good for. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get out on the lake today and get some Squarebill footage, so I don't have any for that. I'm going out Saturday with Skylar, so we will be filming another Tackle Tip Tuesday out there, and I'll make sure to get the next Tackle Tip Tuesday done with being on the boat and with actually throwing the baits. But yeah, we'll have another video up. We may do a challenge video this weekend too. I'm not sure yet. I've got to run that past Skylar and see if he'd be up for it. So yeah, thank you guys for sticking around for another Tackle Tip Tuesday. Hopefully you learned something. If you learned something, drop it down in the comments so I can know. And if you guys have any other video ideas, drop them down in the comments and we'll get on those. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming up this weekend, or later this week and this weekend, and we'll see you in the next Tackle Tip Tuesday or the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.